Hello and welcome to the Inner Circle weekly update. I'm going to start off with the E-mini S&P. You can see where I've circled it here. This is an active daily continuation. The thing that's interesting is a weekly resistance, which has been all the way down at 1,902, could move to the top of the market. What needs to happen is we do not post a trade at 2,478.50. So if it fails to do that by the end of this week, that level will stay there and move to the top, and that will be significant. Nasdaq has a different technical picture in that the weekly resistance is already above. We've had a couple of negatives last week, minor negatives, but not much to speak of there. Got to make new closing highs at the end of the week to resume the uptrend. Moving on to currencies, dollar index broke the monthly level, which is the blue line at 92.34, so that remains a pretty important reference point above. The low that was made on Friday at 90.99 has moved the short-term levels down there, so 90.99 is pretty important, and then 92.34. This isn't really reflected in the euro-dollar though, so although on Friday we did make new highs, we haven't actually made new closing highs from what was made on the 29th of August. Still no resistance lines have moved to the top though. Mentioned last week in the daily updates how the yen had sort of been showing some independent strength in spite of its normal correlation with the US stock market. It sort of started to correlate again overnight, so we've had a bit of a bounce in the dollar yen, but we're still below that key resistance point at 110.23. Of a bit more interest is gold. Having broke the monthly resistance, that blue line, note how we sort of stopped at it the first time it got there and went sideways for a week, then we've broken up and it's gone to its next level at 1357. And then reversed on Friday. That's a time continuation pattern, that black square. Gap lower overnight, watching performance in that gap if we go to fill it. Obviously you've also got to look at that 90.99 point in the dollar index, so some connections there. Silver posted a similar sort of pattern, but there was also that blue arrow, which is a UFO signal as well. But we're not at resistance. In fact, the signal was coming in to what was support, so that weekly level there at 1791.5. The stepping process of the trend has ended though. It was a 240-minute trend and it's ending today, so some minor negatives there. Crude oil reversed sharply on Friday, and you can see there's a multitude of signals there. That includes a time continuation and some other RSI base patterns. We did close below the weekly support at 47.87, but we did not close, if I just spread that out a little bit, we did not close below the third range deviation pivot down. If it had done that, that would have signaled an expansion of range and an acceleration. So watching this 47.87 level today to see if it can recover. Interest rates have really been a little bit on the back burner recently, but got a little bit more interesting on Friday. This is the short sterling contract, so it's effectively base rates in the UK, and what is interesting there is we've come up to a daily level and then we've had a UFO signal on Friday, so a little bit of a negative there. 99.11 is the major support. This was also reflected in the American base rate, so this is the euro-dollar interest rate. Not at resistance, but the uptrend stepping process ended on Friday and we had a doji, which can happen quite a lot on a short-term market. So referencing Friday's high, which is 98.44.5, just so you understand what contract that is, it is DEC 18, so short-term interest rates obviously plot the most active, which is a lot different to most futures markets. Just a quick word on some existing individual stock positions. This is SPPI. There was a buy as a continuation pattern, so divergence is a continuation, so that's what's called a time continuation. And we pretty much rallied most of the week, so pretty good performance. There is no immediate resistance. The support is really the breakout point at 970. The other one is VSTM, which had some positive news results, as mentioned in one of the daily updates, which caused that gap higher. We came back to the breakout point pretty much perfectly and held. Made new highs Friday, but couldn't make new closing highs. So I think it's 467 is still the reference point below. We'll have to see how that performs. Note that there is no resistance for a long way, all the way up to 1235. Okay, I think that's it.